Alright, Reckless Redneck RC community here. So, after the last video there, which, if you haven't seen, I'll provide a link for right about here. If you haven't seen that video, what happened is me and Jeff decided that we wanted to find out how the safe mode on this bird would handle the downdraft off of his rotors. Answer is when it goes well, it handles it quite well. When it goes badly, well, it's not fully dislodged, but the motor mount on the front is still solid at the back, but the front is dislodged. The circuit board here is knocked right out, so we're gonna have to remount the flight board, remount the engine. This little, I'll call it a firewall, came out of right there. So basically that pops in, something like that. Yeah, so that's got to go back in to hold this all apart here. I'm gonna do a little bit of a Bondo type work here, just because I think that's where a propeller came across. Whack. And so I'm gonna Bondo that up and kind of make that sort of better. I know this plane is not going to come back to 100% what it was, but yeah. So that's that's that part of it. The tail split off from there, which released this, and this here tore off of there. So we have to replace that. Just a little bit of tape work going to be done there. This got separated here when on impact. I might do a little bit of a Bondo job here just to kind of make that into a solid piece again, but this part fared incredibly well. Yeah, so not too bad, but could have been worse. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and give this girl a repair. Unfortunately for myself, all I have is tape and JB cold weld, but the JB cold weld does not eat this, does not eat the foam, and it holds things quite nicely, but it is stiff. It doesn't have flex, but I think it'll work nicely for the Bondo job there. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna start, well, actually I'm gonna start with rolling a smoke, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm going to start here. Yeah, so that's where we're gonna start right after I roll myself a cigarette. So, wipe off surfaces when you get stuff on surfaces, and then wipe it on your pants. Alright, sorry about that, everybody. Battery died while I was doing that there. So I was in the middle of taking the video and I requested that my buddy get some foam safe hobby glue. I didn't check the package before I used it. He came in and I was like, oh yay, hobby glue, and dab, 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 dab. Well, this wasn't foam safe. So lesson learned, always check before you use. Luckily, I go by another rule, which is, you know, don't use more than you have to. So I only use small little dabs here and there. I used this strip under here, and it started eating away the foam, so I kind of didn't get to record it because I didn't know it wasn't recording. But I went ahead and did a really quick little fix job, you know, scooping out the material that was melting away, and I replaced it with the JB cold weld and put that all back together. So that's all back together now and ready to go. So basically, before I get too much further, because everything is seeming like it is in there nice and solid, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to grab a battery, and I'm going to just go through kind of a dry run of this mechanical stuff here. I know that this stuff still works, so I don't need to worry about that, but because I just reseated my motor and I just redid all this and did some messing around with that, I want to make sure that everything is still good to go. Oh man, it seems like I might have gotten a little bit of JB weld tacked into my gears, which I totally did. Look at that. That's how bad it was cracked. Just a little bit extra pressure and she came right off. Ha. Well, now as you can see, we need to we need to do some more repairs. Dagnabbit. There we go. So, now that that spins freely, we have to address our next problem that we've created for ourselves. So, I'm going to take this out of here because we don't need that right now. And I'll show you a trick I learned. Well, I didn't learn it, I thought of it. Apparently other people have used it, but I thought of it all on my own. But I'll show you a trick here while I'm doing this that might help you with your foamies. Show you that trick I was talking about. So, we've got these pins here, these sewing pins, and this girl is going to want to kind of fall apart on us while we're waiting for the glue to set. So, take that sewing pin, plunge it down, make sure you leave enough for some pliers or something to grip onto the end there. But now when I let go, oh, look at that, it doesn't want to come apart. That's going to go ahead and set. My pins are still in there. I'm going to leave those until this is fully dry. We'll then remove the pins. I'll plug in the electronics, give it a test, make sure everything's running well, because as you saw before when we ran up the engine, we had a little bit of JB weld stuck on the gears, which wasn't allowing it to spin very nicely. So yeah, we'll make sure everything's working well. If it is, then we'll go ahead, we'll put the component or the shells back together, tape it back up, and I'm pretty sure she'll fly just like she used to. There's no real reason why she shouldn't. So yeah, keep you updated there. Alright guys, so like I said before, that I was just going to remount the front end of this. Well, it took a very minor impact and it came all apart. So just as a lesson learned, if something like that happens and you just have a little bit of wiggle in it, don't just try and seal up just the front. Take it right off and remount the whole thing, because yeah, I just made more work for myself, but whatever, we're here to learn, so we're learning. But yeah, so we're going to go ahead and reapply there and remount this. And yeah, lesson learned, guys.